This Libra full moon is going to bring dreams coming true and a lot of blessings for a lot of people. You will be feeling the full moon energy very active, especially if you have a strong Libra in your chart. Think back on October 21st, 2025, because this is the origin point of the cycle that we are completing right now with this full moon. Why? Because there was a new moon in Libra on that day, and it planted a little 6-month seed that is somehow going to show itself in your life right now. You're probably wondering, Phoenician Priestess, why are you wearing a crown of flowers, besides the fact that I myself am a Libra, and this is a very, very Libran energy thing to do, but because this Libran full moon falls on April 1st. And what is April 1st? April 1st is the ancient traditional Phoenician New Year. As I said in my last video, the Phoenician New Year would start celebrations at the beginning of the spring equinox, and they would celebrate for around 10 to 13 days until April 1st, and that would be considered the official New Year. This actually, after that, it was known as the Phoenician New Year. It later became the Syrian, other people also call it the Syrian New Year. You could even say the old Syrian Lebanese New Year, the old Levantine New Year. And it actually had even spread to different parts of Europe. This is until, under Julius Caesar, the New Year was changed to the 1st of January with the Julian calendar. And it took a lot longer for that to actually spread in the rest of the Mediterranean and actually later in Europe to be later adopted as the New Year. Now, there's an old tale that's where we get the phrase April Fools from, because when they tried to change people who were still celebrating the New Year on April 1st, when they tried to make them change it to January 1st, because a lot of the regular everyday person was still using the ancient New Year that was from, again, or origins dating from the Phoenicians, even though it had spread, but they would call them fools, and it became known as the Fool's New Year, later April Fool's Day. Now, as the Phoenicians, many historians say, are the first that we can trace it back to, the oldest traces of astrology. Later, they taught the astrology to the Babylonians, the Greeks, and then it went to the ancient Egyptians. That was not in that order, but these cultures were always culturally exchanging. It is important to see that the New Year today, the Phoenician New Year, is aligning with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Libra full moon. And I'd like to wish you a blessed New Year in the native language of this region, which is my actual native language, what my actual last name is. It's also the native language of Jesus Christ. Syriac Aramaic is the language. And on this day, we traditionally say Shatobrichto, which means have a blessed new year. And this was the native language before the Arabs. It's still spoken in parts of Syria today. So, Shatobrichto, blessed new year. I bring forward this blessing to you, and let's jump right into it. Let me make sure I'm recording because I've had really bad luck. Okay, we're good. I hope you enjoy my beautiful crown. Honestly, as a Libra myself with very strong Libran placements in my chart, I think we should dress like this every day. And we're going to get right into it. The full moon is happening on April 1st. It is called the rose moon. Very fitting, as Libra is the sign that rules love, and rose, the color, and roses as well are associated with love. Rose quartz is also associated with Libra. It will be happening at 12 degrees of Libra, I think around 12:22 minutes, which here it would actually round up in how it's done in traditional astrology to 13 degrees. The Sabian symbol of which I believe is a child blowing bubbles. It brings about this very kind of innocent energy, which is how I feel about Libra and full moons, about the rose moon. I believe there is an innocent energy because Libra is idealism. Libra is idealism, whether it's idealism in love, whether it's idealism in stories, whether it's idealism in beauty. Sorry if you hear a dog barking. whether it's idealism in wishes coming true, or idealism in justice and right and wrong. Libra is idealism. But it is the sign of idealism, meaning this gives us a chance, this energy for idealism to turn real. If we think back actually to October 21st, that was when we had the new moon in Libra. You could have seeded something around that time in October that could be coming to a wish fulfillment point, or a culmination point, or an energy changing point, or for some people, I hope not, unless it's for the greater good, an ending point, or just like taking this, whatever was seeded then, to the next level. So you're going to want to think back of what was riled up, what was being seeded, what intention were you calling in, what new beginning or new intention did you have around October 21st? Now, with a full moon, you will feel the energy building up a couple days before to a couple days after. And the event window, because it is a moon, tends to last for the entirety of the lunar cycle, meaning until the next full moon event. But really until the next new moon, so the next 2 weeks is new beginnings or changes or anything that's going to happen or events would play out around that time. If you hear me refer to this moon as a new moon, please forgive me, because I don't know, in my brain it seems very new moon-esque now. Historically, for me, I've had love changes always come around this time of year, and very, very more feeling like blessings, not just like, whatever, like really faded stuff come around this time. And so think back, patterns that you've had around Libra lunations, if this has been something for you. Libra is ruled by Venus, the goddess of love. Venus is Aphrodite, and Libra is the sign associated with love and marriage and long-term partnership. But Libra is also the scale, meaning Libra is associated with balance. These themes, everything I just said in the last minute and a half, is what you will see coming up in the collective overall thematically. Balance is what will be asked of each of you. Where that balance is going to be asked will be coming up somewhere. We will talk about that in your all signs. But thematically, if we're talking collective on a personal level, why do I say that? Because I actually, looking at this chart, when I think of the mundane astrology, aka meaning the astrology of government country level, it doesn't look like a very peaceful full moon to me, if I'm honest. However, on the personal level, collectively, it does. Well, I don't know about peaceful, but it looks, maybe for some, but it looks like a blessing-filled full moon. Why do I say that? There's a lot of squares and oppositions in this full moon, but where the squares and oppositions are coming from, it doesn't really worry me per se. Would you believe that my camera actually stopped recording, but this time I caught it. I was only talking a few minutes. So let me just do a quick test here. Lord help us. Okay, we're still... Oh, and by the way, today is Palm Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to actually release this, but considering that the moon is in 3 days, I'm hoping today. But happy Palm Sunday. So the ruler of this full moon, Venus, is at 2 degrees of Taurus. Now Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so Venus is in its domicile, meaning it's exalted here, meaning it's very, very happy here, meaning this is good luck. This is one of the things that is bringing even more of this energy of love, more of this energy of luck into this full moon. Now Libra and Taurus are both two signs that are ruled by Venus, but they represent different elements of Venusian energy. So when you have the ruler of this Libran full moon in a Venus-ruled sign herself, it's bringing the entire meaning of Venusian energy forward. It's bringing everything that I talked about earlier, combined with material alignment, combined with material beauty, combined with material comfort, combined with money, combined with earthly type of love. So not just idealistic love, but real love that is stabilizing, real love that is real, combined with value systems, right? And value systems becoming clear, something that is strong, stable, central, and grounded. It brings this more like earthly element. So we're seeing this merge of the earthly Venusian energy with the idealistic, almost Neptunian Venusian energy. Now, this is going to be reflected actually somewhere else in the chart for today. I'm paranoid now. It's not recording, but it is. We're good. And where that's being reflected of this balance, right, between the earthly Venus realms and the idealistic Venus realms, is the fact that this full moon is actually in opposition. Let me see here, by 6 degrees to Saturn. Now, and so Saturn is bringing this grounded, let me materialize this into real life, asking you to commit to something, asking you to make plans, to all of this airy love energy. And it's interesting because Saturn, again, is not too far from Neptune by 3 degrees, so they're conjuncting, and Neptune is the higher level of Venusian energy. So, okay, what I don't know if you understood that. What does this actually translate to? It means like this moon is saying, okay, all of these love, wish fulfillment, it's going to ground all of these idealism. It's saying like, what's in your mind, what's in your imagination, your biggest hope, your biggest dreams. If you meet someone that is a love potential, if you've been in love with someone, but you're having issues, if there's some commitment thing, like this is a chance for you to ground it into reality. It's a chance to make it real, and it's a chance to approach it in a very real way. But also Saturn here is asking you, even if you don't want to, it's bringing up lessons, asking you to take commitment, asking you to take responsibility, asking you to take accountability, and making things real, asking you to get serious about certain things to do with these topics, etc. All right, let's see what else we have here. I talked a little bit about the Sabian symbol. To me, it really represents kind of lightness, innocence, and joy. And Libra here, justice, idealism. I think there's a big collective theme of returning to innocence when it comes to relationship, intimacy, love, morals, values, returning to balance and harmony between feminine and masculine, and people kind of being shaken awake of how the agenda and society is trying to tear them away from all of those things, tear them away from believing that true love exists, that monogamy is actually our norm, that and conscious monogamy is possible, that sex and sacred sexuality is, well, sacred. I think people are waking up, noticing or feeling this tension, because oppositions are tension, right? Feeling this tension of how the programming in society, which is by agenda, by the way, is trying to keep unions away from each other, keep people away from true love, and increase cynicism in the world. So it's this illusion versus reality theme that's coming up here. So, okay, this full moon is also squaring Jupiter. Jupy baby, where are you? Jupiter here is at 15 degrees. I wanted it there for my own personal reasons. 15 degrees of Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So even though it is squaring the full moon by 3 degrees, and a square is a bit of it's a tension-filled aspect, this isn't bad. I don't read this in a bad way. Jupiter is exalted, and there's a lot of blessing being poured into this full moon as well. So there's an opportunity here. There's opportunities coming up for a lot of people. This could be bringing opportunities for money, bringing opportunities to glow up and get prettier, bringing opportunities to make your dreams come true. And for the most obvious one, but I saved it for last so you don't get sick of me saying it, bringing opportunities for love. It's also bringing opportunities to fix disharmony, where there's things you're holding back. If there's like a give or take, either financially or feelings wise, in love or not love, but it's here to bring the opportunity to fix that. Jupiter is an expansive energy, right? So that's why and it's also a lucky energy, which is why I'm saying bring opportunity. But with the expansive energy, what I mean by that, it is also going to make these things feel a lot bigger in your life, or they could really genuinely not just be an opportunity, but a very, very big blessing. And there's a fated element here with how Jupiter is at play, right? A fated and a karmic element as well. Now, because there is a square, this opportunity might be asking something of you. Either it will come in a tension-filled way, or it will not be easy initially, but the blessing will be big, or you might have to take a risk, or with the effect of Saturn here, you may have to show responsibility, show commitment, show how much you want something, or face something harder in yourself, right? We also have this moon trining Pluto in Aquarius at an orb of around 7 degrees, and this indicates deep transformation and power shifts in relationships and emotional truth emerging. It could indicate healing. For some, this could indicate an ending. For some, this could indicate a death and rebirth. Meaning what? Meaning someone coming from the past. It could indicate your own wounds coming up for you to heal. It could indicate very massive transformation. Again, in these topics to do with justice, relationships, love, beauty, money, etc. It could also indicate, with how it's playing with all the other stuff, maybe having conversations about your biggest fears. And then we have this full moon sextiling Black Moon Lilith. I need to make a whole video on Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is an angle that is calculated relative to the moon. It is the furthest angle to the moon, and it represents, from the name Lilith, right? It represents aspects tied to the story of Lilith. Who was Lilith? Lilith was the first wife of Adam, who was rebellious, and she was cast down from heaven, and then later Adam married Eve. Now, the idea, though, is that when a woman is fully in her proper divine, in her real divinity, in her divine feminine, she embodies both her Eve nature and her Lilith nature, that it's the two halves of the whole that need to come together. But Lilith is the nature of the woman that, and by the way, everyone has Black Moon Lilith in their charts, and Black Moon Lilith here moving around the sky is hitting everyone's chart, regardless on if you're a woman or a man. But speaking metaphorically or figuratively, applying this and how it would come out, Black Moon Lilith represents that part of the woman that is cast out, that is shamed, that is made to stay quiet, that is, And so she has a lot of anger, and she has a lot of, not spite, but she wants to brazenly own. And so this full moon, a moon of love, of justice, of fixing in balance, of harmony, of relationship, of marriage, of moon of romance and idealism, is sextiling Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. So this is like, and it's an exact sextile by 0 degrees. So this is like bringing raw truth, liberation of suppressed desire, speaking what was not spoken, fighting for what you want, facing your own shame that could have held you back, with ways tied to these things. Now, we also have this full moon squaring Eros. Eros in Gemini. Eros, one of my favorite asteroids. I even have a poem. I have a poem that I wrote titled Eros. If you want, stay tuned and I'll read it for you, because it is actually very much this energy of this full moon. Now, Eros, when Eros is Cupid, and Cupid is the son of Aphrodite. Cupid is the son of Venus. Eros is the son of Aphrodite, son of Venus. And Eros, Cupid, would go around, work for his mother and would help spread about love. Now, there's a very beautiful story between Eros and Psyche. Let's actually see where they are in the sky, if they are touching each other. Sadly, no. Eros and Psyche were lovers, and Psyche is another asteroid, and the union of them represents divine love. Oh, by the way, Eros, the asteroid, represents divine sensuality, divine sexuality, a very soul level, sensual, divine energy. So even though there's a square here, it's an exact square, so by 0 degrees. Even though there is a square, so that means tension, but this is still love-coded energy. It is, to me, it's not destruction, even though it's a square. It's an activation, because, again, Eros is the child of Venus. And so it's a very symbolic layer. To me, this is desire versus duality, confusion versus commitment versus showing up properly. Versus what should not I, is this allowed, is this not allowed, should I fight it, should I not, this kind of stuff. To me, this is attraction activation. To me, this is sexual tension. Now, a square here, but it's also, again, Eros is not like, it's sexual in the divine. I really need to keep saying that. It's the divine. Because, again, Psyche and Eros together are 2 asteroids that I use to tell me a lot about soulmate placements and things like this, and what to look for in your own chart. And so it's divine. It's divine. It could talk about some kind of hardship, some kind of friction, some kind of difficulty, but it could also talk about movement, feeling tension. Sometimes tension is what makes, like, if you think of a rubber band and you push it apart, tension is what will make it come back, right? And so tension is needed. And so here, Eros squaring Aphrodite is an activation somehow. There could be, like, if there's been like some sexual energy, sexual tension, sexual bond, energetic bond you just can't let go of. If someone is coming up in your dreams, you can't stop thinking about someone. This is coming from Venus, the full moon in Libra, ruled by Venus, squaring Eros. That's that tension. And then it's going to force you to act, or force someone in your life to act, etc. So in short, this is a very activating, emotionally activating, relationally activating, but also justice-wise and harmony-wise activating. So what you will see on a personal level, relationship turning points, decisions around commitment, fairness, emotional reciprocity, return to balance for anyone who's out of balance in any aspect of their life. Are you working too hard and not taking enough time to rest? This full moon says, Achet, stop, don't do that. Are you spending too much money and not saving enough? Are you saving too much and being a little bit stingy, Mr. Scrooge over here, and need to be more generous? The moon will help you here. Are you being too strict with a routine and you need to chillax a bit more? You get the idea. Again, so it's bringing balance in many ways. It's bringing a call for justice. I saw around, sometimes when Libra is very strongly activated in the sky, you see things about justice. You see protests coming up. You see debates about what is right, what is wrong. Actually, it was around a Libran eclipse when October 7th happened. And then there was a lot of debates about sides and nuance and right and wrong and all this sorts of stuff around that time. And, it pushed apart many other things. And so Libra is very concerned with matters to do with justice and liberty and right and wrong and debating it. Librans debate it. Libra is also law and talking about law and changing of law. And so you'll see this on a collective level and also on a more minute level. Let's see what else. Yes, with Pluto playing a part here, there's hidden dynamics that are going to resurface or surface. Deeper emotional honesty, very vulnerable conversations happening if they've held you back, and a lot of themes about control versus surrender. Where is this full moon asking you to surrender where you've been holding control? Again, with the Jupiter square, I remember I did say that things will feel bigger. That could also mean reactions are amplified, and it's doing it for a reason, so things can no longer be ignored. And then Lilith is kind of having the same effect a little bit sexually as Eros in a different way. There could be a sexual plus emotional truth resurfacing, a rejection of suppression, and people saying what they've been held in. So this is a moon where balance is demanded, imbalance is exposed, desire is activated so you can't ignore it anymore, truth is spoken, and then also wishes come true, the most important and most beautiful part. So it's strange because it's soft in tone, very Venusian, very romantic, very idealistic, very wish come true, but very intense as well. With Pluto and Saturn and the squares and oppositions, yet it's also spicy with sexual, if you get what I'm saying. And so you're going to be feeling a lot of these. A lot of you will be feeling a lot of these. Okay, let's jump in. I think that's all I have for here. So now we shall jump into the all signs portion where we talk about each of your signs. Just a reminder, if you don't know, you're going to want to listen to your rising sign first. In more cases than not, that is not the same as your sun sign. Your sun sign is the one where, the one just based off your birthday that is sort of like more on the mainstream. You're going to want to prioritize, meaning number one, listen to your rising sign more than your sun sign. Are you understanding? Okay, because I've had a lot of questions recently about this. And if you listen to not your rising sign and then you say this does not sound accurate at all, then you have no right to say that. And mind you, this is a general reading. Okay, so it's not the same, not going to be as accurate as a personal reading, right? So if this is a very blessed moon, but on someone's personal chart, certain things are happening with Venus, or at this point is activating something else, or someone has a stronger energy of a bigger transit that is maybe a little bit more malefic or just harder, then they will feel that more than this. So if you really want to know what's going on in your life right now, best thing is to get a personal reading with an astrologer. Any or me, I am open for readings. There is a little bit, sometimes I can be booked out like a little bit in advance, but I think these days is fine. So go ahead, check. If you have any questions, you can email contact@petramirani.com. I know it's not PhoenicianPriestess.com. But otherwise, please listen to your rising sign. And if you don't want to do a personal reading, although again, I recommend it, then what I would recommend you do is listen to your rising, sun, and moon exactly in that order. You'll likely find they resonate the most in that order. Again, depending on your chart. But I also recommend listening to other astrologers because different astrologers have different takes. Just as a reminder, I do Western astrology, which actually is West Asian astrology. It comes from the East Mediterranean, which is the western part of Asia, before it spread to the western part of the world, more west, like Europe, etc. And I use a lot of ancient techniques versus modern astrology, and based very heavily on Hellenic techniques as well as Arabic techniques, quote unquote, etc. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, the timestamps are below. Please also, it really helps me out so much, especially with this algorithm, but also to let me know what you like, to leave a like and a comment if you're still here, if you're still listening and watching. That means you liked it enough, so please and thank you. And feel free to subscribe, of course, to share anywhere. It helps me so much, and I'm so greatly appreciative and grateful, so thank you. If you have any questions as well, leave them down and I'll try my very best to answer. And let's get into it. Hello, Aries, Aries suns, Aries moons, Aries risings. Remember that this is the most accurate if you're listening to this for your rising sign, but still do listen for your sun and moon. It's not that, it will really depend on a lot of things happening in your chart as well, the breakdown of energy. So I'm not saying that it won't be accurate for the other two, but really the rising is going to be the most accurate. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this lovely flower crown, go back and watch the intro. This is your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening at 12 degrees of Libra at 7:12 p.m. PST on April 1st, coinciding with the Phoenician and the old Syrian New Year. This is paired to the new moon that happened on October 21st, which was the Libra cycle origin point. Now, for you, this is bringing some kind of a culmination, a change, a burst in energy, a new chapter when it comes to relationships, marriage partners, soulmates, soul contracts, business relationships, business partners, and possibly clients. For you, the ruler of this moon as well is in Venus. Venus right now is in Taurus, also ruled by Libra, which is in your second house of money. This is very interesting. Some of you could... this is kind of, well, first of all, this is a lucky place to be having Venus. Venus is exalted here. So you're entering a little bit of a period where you're actually going to be lucky in money if you're planning on making decisions to do with real estate, stocks, investing. But you could also be rethinking what your values are and having discussions related to all of these things: assets, net worth, values, somehow affecting relationships, business partnerships, soul contracts, marriage, etc. You could be buying a house with your partner. You could be talking about savings with your partner. You could be planning for the future with your partner, or you could just be reevaluating what is actually important for you in life. Was something out of balance here, and wanting to bring that back into how you show up in relationships and in love and in commitment. Now, Libra also is asking for balance. So if you've been out of balance with things to do with we versus I, self versus existing in a partnership, in either way, right now you're Aries. So for you, that's very likely swinging into let me make sure I'm still recording. Yes, into hyper independence, fiercely being independent, just as a protection mechanism. So, because that's an Aries tendency to think of the I versus the we, Libra is your sister sign. This is hitting your 7th house. It's exactly 180-degree opposition to you. You're going to be feeling this very strongly, right? It's an angular house, meaning this could also impact other points in your life. For some Aries listening to this, you could also have big things happening to do with your identity, yourself, with your family, your home, your career, your sense of purpose in life, because it's angular. And because this is going to be asking you a lot of questions about how you exist in a partnership, and likely, like I said, likely with your Arian energy, it could be that you use independence and thinking of the I as a protection mechanism. And this is asking you to bring balance and harmony here. This could be coming in the form of a lesson with the opposition to Saturn, but it could also be coming and asking you to commit. But Jupiter here, coming from your 4th house, which is talking about something being stirred in the concept of home, family, or emotional stability, can also be causing tension that is bringing forth a blessing or an opportunity that's coming out in your relationships, or a really good chance here, if that makes sense. Yeah, some of you could be feeling with all of this, feeling pushed to travel in the name of love, with the sextile happening to Black Moon Lilith here. Travel in the name of not holding back anymore. Travel in the name of, this is sextiling your 7th house here. And some of you could be feeling like this buildup of energy and this energetic pull with the square to Eros in your 3rd house here, that's taking over your mind and making you want to communicate all of these things. And this will then lead to a step forward in love. Okay? All right. Thank you, Aries. That's what I have for you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to listen to your other signs. Please like and subscribe because it helps me so much. And if you're still listening, then I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to listen to I think I said it, but your other signs. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, Taurus suns, Taurus moons, Taurus risings. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is actually the ancient Phoenician New Year and the traditional Syrian New Year. I go all into that at the beginning of the year. Shato Brichto, which is how we say Happy New Year in my native language, which is the native language of Jesus. Anyway, you want to hear all about that, go to the beginning. So yes, this is bringing, so even though this is a full moon, if we look at its relevance and the timing, it's a full moon that's bringing about a beautiful new beginning. How? Listen to the beginning, because I talk about collective levels. I think a lot of people will be feeling a love energy, but so listen to that, because that could apply to you. But specifically, if we just remember, this is a general reading, look at where in your chart, Taurus, this is coming in to your 6th house. So this is kind of saying that there's going to be some kind of culmination, ending, riling up of energy, buildup of energy, or to do with your health, your physical health, your work, your daily routines. Some cases, for some people, pets. That's a very small interpretation. As well as for some people, daily work life, employees, people you work with. This is a harmonious energy, Taurus. The ruler of this moon is in your 1st house, meaning that a lot of these changes are being driven by changes that you've been having to your sense of self, changes you've been having to your concept of I am, changes that you've been having to how you want to interact with the world, to setting your own boundaries to what's important with you, to, for some of you, focus on your appearance, and that is resulting in you making some kind of change, ending or culmination of energy here to do with your house of health and work, etc. Some of you have been very out of balance in terms of work-life balance, in terms of making sure that you are feeling nurtured in the home, nurtured in yourself, you have a good routine, at the same time not overwhelmed with work. Some of you are very out of balance, and this moon is coming up here to kind of bring a situation to force you to be more in balance as well. Okay, let me see, what else do I see here on this chart? Now, if you think back to October 21st, that was a new moon in Libra, which would have, some of you could have been planting a seed, intention, or a new beginning, that this full moon here may be bringing up again, or bringing up the next level of this, or bringing up the reward of this, or bringing up the wish fulfillment aspect of this as well. Now, with Saturn in your 12th house, and opposing this moon, there is also this energy that some of you could have had a lot of a hard time mentally or emotionally. Some difficult things could have come up, or some things from the past could have come up, or secrets could have come up, or otherwise you just had a hard time. And that kind of forced a focus in your life when it came to health. Some of you could have had a health scare or some health diagnosis come up, or could be coming up in this time. But with the square to Jupiter happening in your 3rd house here, transfer of information that may seem tense-filled to do with your health. But with Jupiter here, it's actually a blessing. So it's not anything bad, even if it seems hard or tense at first. It's just trying to get your attention to focus you back to have to do with this more. So just so you know that. This is so even if some of these news coming in or things riled up may be tension-filled for you, like maybe health hardships for some of you, but it's really not a bad thing. Please trust me. For some of you, it could be coming again wanting to just look prettier or improve your sense of self or how you show up in the world or glow up, level up. That's causing a lot of these changes to your routine, your daily life, your physical health, your diet, etc. Okay, Taurus, if any of this resonated, please let me know. Please leave a like, follow, subscription. It means so much to me. Honest to God, it helps me out. And if you're still listening, then I would really appreciate it. And please don't forget to listen to your other signs, because this is a general reading, although always prioritize your rising. And remember that general is never the same as a personal. Okay, thank you so much, Taurus. Moving on next to Gemini. Hello, Gemini. Gemini risings, Gemini moons, Gemini suns. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician New Year and also the ancient Syrian New Year. To learn more about all of that and what that actually means for my predictions that may definitely apply to your life, may and definitely, both of them at once, what? Anyway, to know more about that, please go listen to the intro where I do give predictions as well that could be applying to you that you'll want to listen to, because this is again a general reading. So listen to those, because they go into, those predictions are more informed by detail the aspects that are informing this new moon. Sorry, full moon. Now, this full moon for you is about a return to innocence and a return to childhood joy. For some of you, not all of you, but for a lot of you, you'll even be feeling this energy. And this could be coming through actually moments of tension where you feel very disconnected from that, to be honest. A lot of you could be feeling like these feelings of, are my dreams ever coming true? The world seems so hard. I feel alone. I feel isolated. And something with that tension actually then forces you to reconnect to joy and passion and love and creativity and romance and innocence. Some of you, this could be being driven by maybe periods where you're isolating more. For some of you, this could be being driven by a hard mental health time or things from the past coming up. Or for some of you, this could be being driven by a spiritual awakening or connection to God, or a moment that feels like connecting to God, a blessing, where a spiritual moment of enlightenment that suddenly pushes you and flows you back into that innocent, love-filled, passion-filled, joy-filled child energy. And for a lot of you, if you think back to October 21st or around that time in October, what new intentions, new seeds, feelings, thoughts, wishes, whatever were you trying to seed or came up into your life? Because they could be somehow showing up again here, or a cycle related to that could be ending here or culminating to the next point, or this could be a wish fulfillment point. Yeah, like this for some of you could bring up a story to do with love, romance, flings, for sure. This could be a story about bringing back balance when there was not balance, and maybe a relationship you're in, or a fling that you're in, or if you started seeing someone but you want to take them take them to the next level, or if one of you seems more into the relationship than others, then this will bring up all of those themes. Libra is about harmony. Libra is about balance. Where were you out of balance in some kind of energetic, sensual, physical, emotional, etc., romance-based connection? Where are you also, if you're a parent, where are you maybe out of balance with the relationship with your child and being a parent, either swinging one way or the other? And if this could also be asking you to bring balance when it comes to joy and passion in your life. Do you feel like your life has been devoid of joy? Do you feel like your life has been devoid of hobby, devoid of passion, devoid of creation, devoid of expression, devoid of all of these things, right? You embodying your true self. You're being asked to bring more balance back into here. And this is going to come with you connecting either again to your inner child, things you used to love when you were younger, to innocence, or of course to long-term goals and dreams. So Gemini, even if with the squares and oppositions, some of this seems like a very tension-filled thing. No, it's not, believe it or not. It's blessing-filled. It's being, Jupiter is playing a part here. Venus is really playing a part here. Obviously, it's the ruler. It's an energy that is bringing blessings and wish fulfillment. You just might, looking at your chart, it might look like some of you need a push towards that. But this is a blessing and fulfillment-filled new moon. And so again, I think I didn't emphasize how many of you actually enough would be having a love-related story. This is a time when, if you haven't met someone, if you're single, love is very likely to come back. I said that could have happened for a reason. Someone here that could apply to. And for some of you, if you're dating someone, you can make it more serious for sure with how Saturn is playing a part here. And then also for some of you, if you've been in a relationship but the joy has and passion has kind of withered away, this moon is bringing up themes related to that to give you opportunity to have a new beginning and fix that, or to have conversations about it, address it, or decide, okay, what do you want to do now? So, if you have any questions, please let me know. Don't forget to listen to your other signs as well. Please subscribe, helps me so much, helps the channel so much, also helps me know what you like, and I really appreciate it. Say hi if you'd like, or Happy New Year. And I will see you in the next video, or in your next sign video. Ciao. All right, Cancer suns, Cancer moons, Cancer risings. Welcome to your Libra full moon forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician and old ancient Syrian New Year. For all of that information, plus a lot of related predictions you won't want to miss, please listen to the beginning. It's happening at around exact timing, degrees, all of that is at the beginning. So listen there, but it'll be at around 12 degrees of Libra. For you, Cancer, this is bringing a change, a culmination, a wish fulfillment when it comes to family, home, motherhood, relation with the mother, relation with the feminine, and emotional security. What this could possibly mean, this could mean some of you are getting pregnant, some of you are giving birth. Again, this full moon has an energy of wish fulfillment. So even though it is a full moon, which is associated with culminations, endings, but there is this wish fulfillment aspect. For some of you, you could be moving homes. For some of you, you could be ending a chapter to do with all of these things. For some of you, this full moon could bring beautiful harmony, fixing in relationships when it has to do with any of your family members, or specifically some of you, your mother. If you are a mother, this could be fixing your relationship with motherhood. For a lot of you, honestly, especially because the ruler of this moon is in your 11th house, this is really giving me wish fulfillment vibes. So if you've had a wish about moving in with a partner, buying a place, getting pregnant, having a kid, visiting your family, fixing any inharmony you have in the home with someone you live with, or family dynamics, or any issues with your home, this is bringing a very beautiful energy into all of that. And it's really telling me that either a long-term goal that you've had, or a wish you've had for a while, or an intention you could have even set around 6 months ago, or a new beginning that was seeded and started and fertilized. If you know what I mean, around, I don't even know what I mean. Actually, I do kind of know what I mean, because we are looking at kind of kid related stuff here. Could be as in family expansion when I say that. But I look back to October 21st to see what new things were in, you had the intention of seeded here. This could be creating a new start here. You could also be thinking of, well, where do I want to live with actual tie to who I am? Some of you, your home situation, your living situation, your family situation could be bringing up stories, issues, and lessons to do with your concept of boundaries, your self-worth, yourself, how you view yourself, how you're perceived, how the world perceives you. And you possibly could have been working on that and growing so much here and really feeling good about that. And that could be what's bringing this change when it comes to home or family. Yeah, for some of you, a change in career could also be playing a part in this energy somehow. Not all of you, but some of you. Or a change in purpose, a change in career in kind of a tension-filled way. Like maybe you focusing on career or a new career path a bit more. For some of you, it could be causing friction with the home life. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. And if not, then I'll see you in the next video, Cancer. Please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share. Anything really helps me out. If you're still listening, I would that means you do like the video, right? I don't know. So I would appreciate it. But it helps me out. It helps the channel out. And it also helps me know what you like. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Okay, next, Leos. Leo's suns, Leo's moons, Leo risings. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician or ancient Syrian New Year. I go into all of that, plus how that actually... Hi, Leos. Sorry about that. It's not even Mercury retrograde, but as always... Okay, anyway, so let's get back to this. So for you, Leo, this full moon could bring a love-related communication or mental change or mind change. What this means is if you've approached your dating life, romance life, marriage, or anything related, or how you show up in relationship a certain way before, this full moon could be bringing changes like that. This looks like from changes like... sorry about that, changes as like maybe before you didn't believe in soulmates, you were cynical, and then suddenly you're not, you believe in soulmates. Or the opposite, heaven forbid. But you could be going from being idealistic to suddenly being hyper-realistic, cynical, etc. It could look like if you've been evaluating a relationship, who was right, who was wrong, who did things, whose fault it was. Do you want to go back? Do you not go back? Do you want to stay? Do you not want to stay? Is this good for you? Is it not good for you? You could suddenly have a new view on all of that. It looks like if you've been having communication issues, even if you're single or not single, but when it comes to love, the opposite sex, or same sex, if you're dating within the same sex, or even within a relationship, you could suddenly have big breakthroughs and aha moments and how to communicate more and be more at ease, or communicate in a better way that represents yourself. It can also look like bringing balance in your mind. So if you're very, very negative, it could be bringing opportunities for you to be more positive. If you tend to skew your thinking too much to one way, it'll skew your thinking too much to another way. Be careful, because a moon like this could have you in your head, but in another way, this could have you in your head in a good way. You could be feeling extra idealistic right now, extra happy. One other thing I would say is moons here is be careful, like in a good way, your imagination can make a lot of things come to, with this moon, come true. So watch what your brain is focusing on, because it could actually very likely to come true this time around. For some of you, you could be thinking of making some kind of a there could be some kind of story wrapping up or culminating, or an event happening related to tech, education, communication, one of your siblings, social media, some kind of a course. And this is being driven by something flowing from your house of career or leadership. And then for you, you could also, for some of you, this could be coming from you suddenly getting serious or having a lot of lessons recently that have had to do, or changes recently that you feel coming, that have had to do with with spirituality, a spiritual awakening, a change in how you see the world, travel, retreats, something like this. Like maybe you went to one, or you've just been traveling, or you met someone from a different culture, you're thinking of immigrating, or you've had a spiritual awakening, or you found a new spiritual mentor, or you did some kind of astrology session or something. And this led to you having this breakthrough in the way you think in communication when it has to do with something that's out of balance in your mind, or how you're communicating, or how you're showing up when it comes to relationships. Okay, Leo, if you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to listen to your sun, moon, and rising. Remember, this is a general reading. So if you'd like a more personal one, you're welcome to book with me or any other astrologer, of course. And also listen to other astrologers too. It's always good to get other opinions when you're listening to these general readings. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I would so appreciate if you like, subscribe, follow. Helps me out. It helps the channel out so much. Thank you. Next. Hello, Virgo suns, Virgo moons, Virgo risings. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st at 12 degrees of Libra. It is also that same exact day. It is the Phoenician New Year, the ancient Syrian New Year. If you want to know more about that and how that's actually affecting what you're going to feel in the predictions that are coming up in your life, plus as well as many other predictions, since this is a general reading, I can't see your chart right, so we want to make sure that we have as much covered as possible. Listen to the intro. Think back as well to October 21st, because that's when we had a new moon in Libra. So any new intention that you set there, any new beginnings that you were starting, any new chapter that started in your life, any new emotional things that started to brew, this full moon is either bringing a culmination of that, or is bringing a wish fulfillment point to that, or is bringing those themes up again to transmute, transform, bring harmony and balance where is needed, where those themes may be out of that. Now, for you, remember to as well prioritize your rising sign over your sun and moon, and to listen to all three. Now, for you, Virgo, this is happening to do with money, self-worth. In some senses, we could talk about, Libra, Taurus, second house. We could talk about carnal pleasures in a more earthly sense way versus a desire sense way. The second house, many people also forget, it sits on the second eighth axis. Eighth as sex, passion, and divine sensuality, and talks about shared finances. So in a way, a lot of the way, the second actually talks about when we bring sensual pleasure down to the carnal, to the self. So there could be, for some of you, something happening here. Some of you could be feeling like, what is, where has that been out of balance for you? Where do you need to restore balance and justice to that here? Where do you want to bring more harmony here? Where do you want to bring more love to it here? Some of you, this is a great time to buy a house or to change how you've been doing stocks, investing, etc. There's some of you could be having breakthroughs to do with money and self-worth and your values, meaning like understanding, asking yourself, what do I really value? What's really important to me, and how much? And where is that out of balance? Am I overvaluing one of these things? You could also be reevaluating, what are my current values and wants in life? Some of you could be investing or changing how you have your investments ran, or looking at your net worth and assets. For some of you, this could be bringing a positive change here, or for some of you, it could just be bringing change in activity when it comes to your assets and your net worth. For some of you, there's a story here. Some of you could be traveling for love, maybe, or be having a very romantic time right now to do with love. Some of you, past emotional entanglement or sexual entanglement, or not even past, maybe present, and wounds you've had that have stopped you from being vulnerable, or maybe just meeting someone or being with someone in a relationship with someone, married to someone, etc., where you've really fallen in love and things have gotten deep, is what has somehow caused you to look at your own values or look at your own self-worth and wonder how much if there's anything out of balance at all, or out of balance between how you're prioritizing maybe money and growing your assets versus showing up emotionally, etc. For some of you, a long-term dream is coming up where you're feeling attention to it. Maybe you've ignored it in the past. Maybe you feel like things have gotten out of balance where you've neglected it, and it's come up again and asked you to reevaluate if it's important for you, and if so, to reassess where you have your kind of like energy and how you're rationing out your energy to see if you want to put more towards that. Okay, thank you, thank you, Virgo. Sorry. Moving on next to Libra. Hello, Libra risings, Libra suns, and Libra moons. Welcome to the full moon in Libra forecast for your sign. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is also the Phoenician and ancient Syrian New Year. Sorry if you hear a dog outside. And it will be happening at 12 degrees of Libra. More information about that, plus the exact timing and predictions on a collective level, which you'll definitely want to listen to because you are Libra. So they're going to be very relevant for you. Please go listen to that at the beginning of the video. And don't forget as well to prioritize listening to your rising sign and then your sun and your moon. And if you would like to do a one-on-one reading, the link is found in my bio, and I am open, even if it might be booked up the next 1 week to 10 days to actually maybe 2 weeks. Anyway, but go check there. Maybe I'm not. If you have any questions, you can also email me. Now let's get into it. For you, Libra, this is bringing a possible wish fulfillment, culmination, change, or big event playing out when it has to do with yourself and your identity. But because it's hitting an angular house, you could really see this next month, this next lunar cycle, be kind of sort of a catalyst for many different changes, life changes in your life. For some of you, this could look like relationship. For some of you, this could look like home, family, sense of home. For some of you, this could look like career. I mean, I'm a Libra sun, okay? And again, rising is more accurate. And I can tell you that that's all accurate. You should really think back to October 21st, dear Libra. What was happening at around October 21st, Libra? Because that is going to be a clue of what could be coming up thematically here. But also if there was any new beginnings that were starting to be seeded then, any intentions that you're trying to set, any new start that was starting to plant either in your head or in real life, or just things that were playing out in that time. Around this time, this full moon, which has its origin point in that new moon at the October 21st, there's a story here. They tie. Thematically, they tie. And it could be, because this moon is really about wish fulfillment, it could be a wish fulfillment related story. It could be an ending related story. It could be a going to the next chapter, closing a chapter, opening a new one story. It could be fulfilling, ending a cycle. We did say that one. Well, think of it more like cyclical. Or it could just be continuing the theme. Or it could also be like an energetic release points. Full moons are also energetic release points. I like to think of this like a volcano, right? Volcano, there's a buildup of energy, and then after a certain point, and that's kind of what full moons are like. So if, again, something that would have started, seeded around this time, building up energy, and now there's a release point. And this release point could come in a form of a conversation, emotions that you're having a hard time controlling, an action that you have an urge to do, or an event that plays out in the external, Libra. Now, the ruler for this full moon for you is in the 8th house, which is all about death and rebirth. And here you have Taurus. And so this is really saying, like, maybe you've been going through a death and many death and rebirth moments in the last 6 months, or in the last month, or currently, that is leading you to have a lot of changes to do with yourself, your identity, how you want to show up in relationships, how you're handling self-growth, how you're handling what you want, what you desire, how you're handling even how you carry yourself, your appearance. I may have mentioned it a little bit, but I'm a Libra, by the way, Libra sun over here. I think this is very Libran of me, even though I'm wearing it because it's the Phoenician New Year. Anyway, this is really a time where, it's almost like you're birthing a new sense of self. And Jupiter here is really blessing you. In some cases, you feel like your career might be hindering that. In some cases, you could be asking yourself, how can my career, what I do, what I output in this life, my leadership skills, my purpose, how can that support it even more, or how can I bring them in alignment? For some of you, you've been out of balance when it comes to your sense of self and relationships. This could show up in two ways. It could show up where you've been hiding behind the shield of hyper independence, and that's been out of balance, been taking you out of balance. It's been coming up because of things you had to heal that you were not healing. And actually, with Saturn opposing this moon in the 7th house, a lot of you have been going through a lot of love-related lessons to do with yourself. Where have you been your own worst enemy here? Oh my God, this is so applying to me as well. Where have you been self-sabotaging without even realizing because of things that you had to heal or do with your sense of self? I'm not talking about myself here per se. I'm really just talking about what I see in the chart. And it could be things that you could have had things happen in relationships, or how you show up in relationships, or how you show up with someone you're interested in or someone you're married to, really the whole scope, where you kind of thought it could have all been on the other person, and then you suddenly had these realizations that made you realize, wow, how much of it was on me. And this is you're birthing a new identity. You've really had like a death and rebirth moment. And a lot of this is being driven in the way you think, in a very, very kind of empowering the way you think. Like a lot of you could be getting into more positive thinking, law of attraction, more accountability with how your thoughts have been sabotaging relationships because of how you viewed yourself, your self-concept. A lot of you, if you haven't done it already, you should be reworking your self-concept right now. And that will instantly bring about the energetic change that you're hoping to have in the realm of love, relationships, business partnerships, clients, etc. So it's lessons here, lessons on how you yourself have played a part in this and how it has shown up both with your family, not even both, all with your family, with love, and with career. And so you're having this but it's a blessing energy. Jupiter is sending you some psychic energy, is sending you signs, is sending you a lot of opportunities to rework a lot of this and to entirely redo your self-concept, redo how you think about yourself, heal any of that gunk, and is giving you the opportunity to really see it and make sure it no longer controls these anymore. And with Jupiter here, blessings, wish fulfillment, the impact of this can truly be instantaneous, right? Because your present reality is a direct cause of all the beliefs that have been subconsciously playing a part in your mind up until this very moment. So a breakthrough in this moment right now, like literally right now, can cause an instant change in your reality. And that's what this full moon is really talking about: an idealistic change, a romantic change, a money change, a beauty change, an appearance change, a justice change, a love, true love, soulmate change, a wish fulfillment change. All of that is possible shifting in your reality. And this full moon is here to teach you how that all starts with you. It all starts with your mind. It all starts with your connection, co-creating with the divine. I wish the Libra, it's doing a lot of really cool things in your chart. So that's really it. This is going to rebirth an entirely new timeline and life for you if you use the energy of this full moon properly. Okay. And Jupiter is going to be throwing blessings that kind of seem like, oh my God, is this real? How is this happening? The likelihood of this is so low. Is this too good to be true, etc.? And it's not, right? Remember that everything here makes a difference. How you view things creates the reality, but also your self-concept makes a difference as well. How you view the self, right? And also if you've been out of balance in the other way in romance, for example, if your self-concept had you over-giving, had you over-attaching, had you overextending, then this moon is here to correct that. So whether it's whether you pulled away out of protection because you were too unbalanced in the sense of I, or whether it was the other one where you lost your sense of I in the we, and this moon is here to correct that. Libra, if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, like this video, or are still listening thus far, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Truly anything and everything does help, and it also helps me know what you like, and I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to listen to your other signs, and if you'd like a one-on-one reading, I am open, although maybe backed up for the next 2 weeks, 10 days-ish. But who knows, maybe you can find an opening. And if you have any questions at all, 2 weeks, that goes by pretty quick, does it not? Anyway, and if you have any questions at all, please do let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moons. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st at 12 degrees of Libra, which is also April 1st is also the Phoenician New Year. I explain all of that plus personal level collective predictions that may very well apply for you. Remember, this is a general reading, so you're going to want to listen to those at the beginning. So please do listen to that. Okay, let's jump right into it. And I give you also more details about this moon, the timing, etc. So you're going to want to think back on October 21st, around that time, because we had a new moon in Libra then. And the new moon in Libra was really the kind of starting point of this cycle that is now ending in the full moon. Or around that time, basically, you could have been setting new intentions, or you could have had a new beginning, or new things could have either shown up in your life in the physical, or started to show up in your mind, possibly, that are somehow leading to the events playing out now, the energy culminating now, or for some of you, with how this moon is showing, and I talk about it in the beginning, a wish for fulfillment that is playing out now. Is there a wish that you really strongly had around that time in October, around that new moon, that is possibly events tied to that are coming now? For some of you, this is happening in the 12th house. Sorry, I didn't mean in a bad way. A lot of astrologers like to talk about it being endings, because it is the 12th house is the ending, the last house. For sure. Maybe for some of you, it is a full moon after all, which traditionally is also culminations and endings. So for some of you, this could be bringing some kind of an ending in your life. This ending can have to do with love, relationships, how you view yourself, wounds, traumas, a mental health trial time. So you could be ending that, putting all of those things to rest. For some of you, you've had lessons, or you've been to do with health or work or your daily routine, or you've gotten very strict about it, or you've been bringing changes there, or have had karma come up there that are now coming out when it has to do with your connection with God, spirituality, mental health, emotional outlook, etc. So what this could look like, for example, let's see. This could look like a change, a karmic change, a fated change happening in your health, like a health diagnosis, or your career, like getting laid off or getting a boss you hate, for example. And this leads to a lot of where you're at now, which is like, for some of you, you could be isolating. For some of you, you could be in your head a lot. For some of you, you could be having up and down mental health time. For some of you, you could be needing to put more balance here. So balance in your mind, balance in your brain, balance in your spirituality, balance in your way of thought, balance in your subconscious, that's causing that. And this is actually, it's a good moon. It's a lucky moon, believe it or not. You know, with Jupiter squaring here from your 9th house, it does talk about this is also bringing this, well, if it was a kind of hardship, is bringing a kind of spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening, spiritual rising. While it's doing this, it's connecting you to a bigger picture, to a bigger path, etc. And this could even be tied to, down the line, blessings financially. So even if it doesn't seem like this, everything that's happening right now is a blessing. And but the blessing is coming up right now. Before you see the blessing part, there's changes in energy building up in your mind, in your subconscious, in your spiritual realm, in your energy sphere. And so it's important that you kind of focus on all of those things. And a lot of the changes that are happening here will then end up playing out in different parts of your life. And you'll end up more aligned on your path, more in tune with your intuition, more connected spiritually, etc. And you're going to want to make sure that you're bringing that into a structured daily routine into your everyday life. Scorpio, if this applied, if this resonated, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to listen to your other signs. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, just say hi if you like even. It helps me and the channel out so much. Remember to prioritize your rising sign above all else, and then also listen to your sun and moon. Remember, this is a general reading. That's why I tell you to do it this way, until you can get a personal reading, which will of course be the most accurate. Thank you, Scorpio, and I will see you in the next reading. Okay. Hello, Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician New Year, at 12 degrees of Libra. To learn more about that, please listen to the intro, because I give personal level collective predictions that you'll want to listen to, and I explain so many other things with the energy and how it all ties together. Now, for you, this is bringing some kind of a culmination, either a wish fulfillment or an ending or a change or a big energetic event having to do with your friends, your future dreams and goals, technology, or your soul tribe. For some of you, this could look like recent lessons or karma having come out in your life when it comes to do with your passions, entrepreneurship, expressing yourself, embodying your true self, that are leading you to maybe want to end friendships that are no longer aligned, or to start new friendships that are aligned, or to make changes in your sense of community, or changes in your sense of future. A lot of yourselves are asking yourselves, where do I exist? Where do I belong? Where is home? Where is my soul tribe? What should I do? And maybe this, for some of you, could be driven by your daily life, your routine, your work. For a lot of you, it could be being driven by just wanting a sense of belonging, or getting confused about what your actual dream actually is. For some of you, you could be getting a wish fulfillment here. So maybe like your wishes to do with all of that is coming true. Whereas for other of you, you could be feeling out of balance in this. Libra is about harmony and wanting harmony and justice. And you could be trying to figure out a solution or a balance, and could be really annoyed at the tug and pull that this might be having, right? And wanting to embody your own truth, etc. Yeah, and for some of you, this is coming like it's feeling a lot bigger than it is. Jupiter here is expanding the energy and the emotions related to that. But Jupiter is also bringing a lot of opportunity related to that, and bringing synchronicities related to that as well. And for some of you, the fact that it's feeling bigger could start to feel like it has to do with other things tied to your sense of self. That sense of self that maybe you felt like you've ignored in the past, or that you're not listening to. For some of you, tied to relationship, tied to some kind of divine connection that is somehow influencing your concepts of what are my dreams, what is my future, where do I belong, what about my soul tribe? And for some of you, it could be coming from a sense of death and rebirth. Maybe an old version of you that existed no longer exists. And this is coming, and this is then bringing an ending or a new beginning or a change or a wish fulfillment when it comes to belonging, soul tribe, friends, future, dreams, goals, etc. All right, Sagittarius, if this resonated, or if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. If you enjoyed this video, or if you're still listening, please give a like, comment, follow, subscribe, really anything. I truly appreciate it. It helps me out so much, and it helps me know what you like. Don't forget to prioritize your rising sign, then listen to your sun and moon, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, Capricorn, Capricorn suns, Capricorn moons, Capricorn risings. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician New Year, at 12 degrees of Libra. I go into so much detail about what you should expect in the beginning of the video, so please listen to that intro. And remember to prioritize your rising sign, and then listen to your sun and moon, because this is a general reading. Personal reading will always be way more crazy accurate, really crazy accurate. I love how crazy accurate. But if you're not doing that, then listen to your general sun and moon. Sorry, rising sun and moon. And without further ado, let's jump into this. Capricorns, this is bringing a change into terms of your career, your leadership life, your purpose, and your public purpose, and how you're perceiving it in terms of productivity, what you're putting into this world, and your public life. This is being fueled by you questioning things like embodiment of the true self, questioning things like a connection to inner child. Some of you could have actually had children, and that could be fueling this change. Some of you could be thinking about your missing joy and passion in your regular life. Some of you could be wanting entrepreneurship, or to be your own leader. Some of you could be wanting to create more and go after a creative passion. And this is fueling either an ending or a wish fulfillment or eruption of energy when it comes to your career and your public life and your leadership, etc. Let's see. For some of you, their relationship could be playing a part here. It could be a business relationship or a partnership or a marriage or something, either in a positive way or a negative way. Like a new opportunity to do with that, or new energy here could either be inspiring change when it comes to your career, etc. For some of you, lessons that you've really had to do with home and family and what's important and where you live and what you want in your home life, and changes to your family life. Maybe someone could have, you've improved a relationship there. Maybe someone, your family member, is going through a hard time. Maybe you want to expand your family. Maybe someone new moved in, etc. is what's causing you to reflect on your career, public life in a different way. Some of you could be cutting down on your work hours or remember, Libra is also about balance, right? So Libra here could be saying, where are you out of balance? Have you been focusing too much on career, not enough on home and family? Too much on career, not enough on emotional stability? Too much on career, not enough on romance and love and marriage and potential partner? And Jupiter in the seventh here is maybe even for some of you giving you a relationship opportunity right now that is making you ask these questions of, am I out of balance with career? And if you don't take this opportunity, opportunities go. And so this could be planting this opportunity for you to make those decisions, bring in balance, bring in harmony. For a lot of you, you could be getting a promotion with Libra being here and the ruler of it being in the 5th house, Venus. You could be making more money. You could be getting promoted into leadership level. You could be getting a raise. For some of you, you could possibly be going viral. If you're doing something that you love or on social media, or you create some kind of art or writing, this is a really good placement that supports you going viral or getting clients or things like that. Yes, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like a one-on-one reading, you can find the link in my bio. If you appreciated this video, you're still listening, please like, subscribe, comment, share, really anything. I truly appreciate it. It helps me out so much and helps me know what you like. Thank you so much, Capricorn, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Aquarius, Aquarius risings, Aquarius suns, Aquarius moons. Welcome to your full moon in Libra forecast. The full moon is happening on April 1st, which is the Phoenician New Year. I go into what that means in terms of predictions, in terms of how it's showing up in your life, plus so much more on collective level personal predictions that could be applying to you because this is a general reading at the beginning. So please go and listen to the beginning. And without further ado, then let's jump into your reading. Remember to prioritize your rising sign, and then after that you can listen to your sun or your moon, because this is a general reading. For most accuracy, you're going to want to do a one-on-one reading, whether it's with me or with any other astrologer, but that will give you the best idea. But listening to all three will help as well, but in that order, because that's the order of accuracy when we're doing general readings. Okay. For different reasons. They also kind of represent different things. That's why. Okay, anyway, so for you, this is bringing about a culmination of energy, a wish fulfillment, an external event, or a real change when it has to do with your beliefs, travel, your spirituality. If you have any mentor, to do with that. If you're interested in publishing, to do with that. If you're interested in immigrating somewhere or you're dating someone long distance, to do with that as well. For a lot of you, this is the kind of energy that is saying like, okay, where is your worldview or your spirituality out of balance somehow, and how can we get that back in balance? You could be seeking for truth or justice in how you view the world, how you view politics, how you view leadership, how you view government, how you view God, and how it all plays together. This is giving like someone who feels very, I was going to say spiritual awakening vibes, but I don't know if I would say that per se. Would I say that? Let me check. It could. You could really be having difficulty or changes in terms of how you think. And suddenly what you're going to be switching to is going to be expanding your mind and bringing you a lot more luck, etc. For some of you, if you're immigrating or you're having legal issues to do with that, this can bring a culmination, an answer, or some luck when it has to do with that. For some of you, if you've been dating someone long distance, that you could be meeting someone. You could definitely be meeting someone from a different culture, from a different background that you start dating, or you're romantically invested with them. Maybe you're already dating them and the relationship deepens, or you iron out any imbalances here and it teaches you a lot. It starts to expand your mind, or it causes you to travel. This is also a sign, by the way, of getting really into things to do with like astrology and divination in the higher sense, in the higher realm, in the bigger picture. So some of you could be experimenting with that, or hiring someone to do with that, or changing your belief system on that. Some of you could be doing like some kind of a retreat or something that has a very positive impact on how you think, how you communicate, your family, even in the rest of your life. Some of you could be traveling to visit your family. Actually, this is a minor story that could exist here. Some of you, changes to do with home and family are somehow causing you to value things in a different way in life. Maybe some of you are changing your belief system and somehow it has to do with that. But overall, it's a very lucky, very expansive energy. Again, if it's a very lucky energy, if any of you want to publish or are interested in publishing or restarting an education, going back to school, doing an MBA, something like that. Okay, Aquarius, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below and I will do my best to get back to you. If you're interested in one-on-one reading, you can find the link in my bio. Don't forget to listen to your other signs as well. And if you've enjoyed this video or you're still listening, I would really thank you and appreciate a like, subscribe, follow, comment, anything like that. It helps me and the channel out so much and I am very grateful for that. Thank you and see you in the next video. Hello, my darling Pisces, saving the best for last. I am a Libra sun and this is a Libra full moon. Welcome to your full moon and Libra forecast. But I am a Pisces rising. So I do know, I want to give you a good reading because I know that you guys get often put as the last sign on most forecast videos in most channels. Okay. So for you, my dear Pisces, this is happening in your 8th house. A lot of people are scared of the 8th house because it represents death and rebirth, the phoenix rising, transformation. And because a lot of other astrologers just like to also focus on its money and finance and debt and taxes and loans concept. But the 8th house is also really a very spiritual house, but it's also a house of passion. It's about the spiritual level of sensuality and intimacy, and it's about soul merging. It's a house, if we think of the archetype of, what are they called? Gomez and Morticia Adams, the 8th house is really about that. So there's nothing to fear here. Now, if you haven't listened to the beginning, please go back and listen to that because I go into so much details about this full moon, which you'll want to listen to. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a flower on my head, it's also because the day of the full moon is the Phoenician New Year. Phoenicians are the fathers of astrology. And so the significance of that and how it affects what I will see is coming into your life is all in the beginning. Plus, I go into the aspects and the related predictions for you there as well on a collective level for personal predictions. But this full moon, to sum up, is happening on April 1st at 12 degrees of Libra. If you're going to want to think back on October 21st. October 21st was a new moon in Libra, which was kind of the energetic starting point for a lunar cycle that now ends with the sister full moon happening now. And think back on what entered your life, what new things were starting to either entered in the physical or new things that were starting to plant in your brain and your energy, what intentions you were possibly seeding. Because at this time, the vibe of this full moon is very much wish fulfillment energy. So it could be bringing a wish fulfillment at around this time. It could be bringing a culmination. It could be bringing an ending. It could be bringing an explosion of energy like a volcano when a volcano has had energy culminating and building over time and then boom, suddenly there's a release. This release could happen in the 3D, in the physical realm via an event, or it could happen internally. But really, this is giving you an opportunity to transform an intimate bond or relationship that you've had. To be honest, as a Pisces rising, I actually have a lot of deep relationships change or start or something happen with them around this full moon, which is why, again, so many other astrologers just talk about this 8th house being either money, taxes, or death. And honestly, it kind of annoys me. Because it's not, well, first of all, it's also going to depend on what is happening in that house and in that sign in your chart. But it's really so much more than that. The 8th house is soul entanglement, is passion, is sacred sexuality, is also going in. Hi Pisces, I'm so sorry about that. We cut off and I didn't notice until later. The reason is I don't know what's happening with my incredibly expensive $1,000 professional camera, and I'm only using it because I've noticed that you guys watch more when the camera quality is better. If I could just use my laptop camera, which is worse quality, but it doesn't freak out on me and just stop taping whenever it wants. Anyway, so it is really giving me an energy here that is, to me, love coded and intimacy coded. I say both those things, right? It doesn't have to mean it doesn't necessarily something moves in the external, although I hope that for you, but it could mean that you really are having this like death and rebirth moments of transmuting all of the stuff that you've had, the wounds, the traumas, the fears that have held you back from either enjoying intimacy all the way, enjoying vulnerability all the way, or from romance or from love. Jupiter here is bringing an opportunity of romance. Either someone new, romance can turn into something so deep, or allows you to explore intimacy deeper, or again, with how it's playing with the 8th house, with Pluto, with the square to Jupiter, it could be someone from your past. It could be someone from your past for sure coming up. But now you've been given this opportunity. The moon is saying, Okay, heal, don't let this sabotage again, right? Now, for some of you, of course, it could have to do with just healing the wounds within yourself, and you do that. You could really be doing that. You could be having breakthroughs when it comes to healing how you've been your own worst enemy, or you've had a lot of wounds, and you're doing that because of mindset change. Maybe some of you have stumbled upon like some social media video, a YouTube video, a course, a lesson, a teacher, or you've had a conversation that has changed the way you think about a lot of these things and somehow unlocked this energy for you to transform your mind and your brain. Now let's talk a little bit, because it is the financial axis here. For some of you, there could be a money story happening over here. It could be a money story, like some of you could initially be having some hardships to do with money, not like big hardships. Maybe money seems a bit tighter, or maybe you're going through moments of having to learn lessons from money now, and it's affecting how you budget, how you do your taxes, how you think of things here. But even if it seems hard now, just know that with how the sky is playing out, it seems like a blessing in disguise. So maybe it forces you to think of new ways to make money. Okay. But overall, it's a very blessed fulfillment, wish fulfillment new moon, even if it has some oppositions and squares. So even if it's coming from some difficult conversations, difficult realizations, difficult energy, some tension, there should be an overall, the things that it triggers, it starts, it changes within you and in your external, should actually be bringing really good luck. You're having this is a very, for you Pisces, you're one of the really, really lucky ones here. Luck when it comes to intimacy, to healing, to love, to transformation, to birth, to connection, to spirit, to changing your mind, and to money. Pisces, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will get back to you. If you'd like to book a one-on-one reading for more personalized, remember this was general, to get a more personalized forecast, you can find the link in the bio. If you appreciated this video, or if you're still listening, I would be very thankful for a like, a comment, a follow, a subscription, and any form of support means a lot and helps the channel out so much. And I can't remember if I said this, but if you're wondering why I'm wearing a flower crown, which I think is Pisces you should really approve of, then it's actually the Phoenician New Year, and I explained that all in the beginning. So Pisces, this is a blessed moon, even if around this time you're coming with some financial unpleasantness, but it's a blessed moon, and it's bringing, I think, for most of you, chances of improved intimacy and really, 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 really deep healing and connection to spirit. So, sorry, one other thing I want to add, it's a return for you, a return to idealism, a return to innocence, a return to romance, and a return to romanticizing. That's the biggest story here for you, actually, Pisces. It's all of that thing. It's triggering changes internally within you, soul-wise within you, externally within you, to better, more easily be able to return to all of those things. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to listen to your other signs, and see you in the next video.